Hey guys, it's Todd and Mark from Like Minded Lunatics, bringing you, well, something a little different today.
Yep.
Talking with Mark, there's so much, dude, that we have overlap.
A lot.
In growing up, playing video games, listening to music, watching movies, just the stuff we care about.
Yep.
We're both professors of writing. We both like doing this jackassery together.
Love it.
There's not a lot that isn't an overlap, but us talking together, I realized that you didn't really listen to a lot of punk rock as a kid or even as an adult now.
I didn't. So I started off with, I would say my earliest memory of rock and roll is probably AC/DC or Van Halen.
Right.
One of those two.
Yeah.
And I stuck with that.
Sure.
And I went backwards a little bit, but for the most part, no. Punk has never been kind of in my wheelhouse.
So, you have done such a great job helping Lottie in his Rockucation.
I tried.
I thought we could play around with doing Mark's punk Rockucation.
I love it.
Doing some bands. Now, we're going to talk about punk rock, but here's the thing for the audience to understand.
Yeah.
I am no expert, okay? I'm like the sophomore showing the freshmen around the school. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't pretend to be any kind of punk expert. So instead of these broad, sweeping definitions of what punk is and what punk isn't, I thought with these, we would just take a look at a band one at a time.
Okay.
They're going to be a part of a specific era, a part of a specific region.
Yep.
And we'll just kind of look at them and just get your impressions, what you think, and I'll tell you what I know with the limited knowledge I have.
I love it.
So today we're kicking it off with Operation Ivy.
Okay.
You know anything about them?
Never heard of them.
Oh man, this is so awesome. You never heard of them. Okay. They're affectionately called Op Ivy in the punk community.
Okay.
Operation Ivy only existed for like 2 years.
Wow.
In the mid 80s.
Okay.
They put out one album.
That's it.
That's it. And they were a part of the East Bay punk scene in the 80s and 90s. So the East Bay punk scene is like San Francisco, Oakland, and Berkeley.
Okay.
And there was this one club, punk rock club, that emerged in the mid 80s on Gilman Street. And Operation Ivy became a band and was discovered there.
Okay.
If you're curious, dude, there is a fantastic documentary about that, and I have the LP soundtrack with it. It's called Turn It Around, the story of East Bay punk. And it's fantastic. So I would encourage you to check that out.
Okay.
If you know bands like Green Day and
Sure.
Rancid, they came out of that same scene. Operation Ivy disbanded after 2 years, and two of the founding members of that would go on to be Rancid.
Makes sense.
But I thought I would start with Operation Ivy today. So the first track I got for us is a tune called Unity. These are real short, so I just thought, like, let's blow through it. It's a 2-minute song.
Yep.
If you feel like saying something in the middle of it, pause it and let's talk. If not, let's just let's check it out. And we've got lyrics up today because punk is notoriously hard to understand lyrically.
Okay.
Let's do it, man.
What year is this?
This is, well, let's see. It will be 86, 87, or 88.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. All right, here we go. Operation Ivy, Unity.
Let's do it.
There's a wall coming down between my breast and mine. I don't want no war going down tonight. Stop this! War! Stop this! War! Civilization, I call it as I see it. I call this pussy, I still cannot believe it. Our evolution now has gone the way of hate. But will the fall resolve into a stupid pain? Stop this!
What I love is the messiness.
Yeah.
The messiness. There's no you can tell they're playing together.
Yes.
And that one dude might be off tempo slightly.
Yeah.
No one cares.
Well,
Go!
And this punk club on Gilman Street, it was like a lot of high school kids and kids who didn't really have homes. Maybe they had one parent and that parent was working. And so this was a place where they came together to be together. And this sound and this vibe came out of just like dumb high school kids wanting to hang out. So, you and I are more familiar with hanging out in metal bars or like rock clubs.
Yeah.
Where people are getting wasted and they're like 21 or something. These are high school kids. This was an all-age club. And in fact, there was no alcohol allowed. So if you were like a beer drinker, you'd have to go out into the alley and chug a beer real quick to come back in and be a part of it. Like for punk rock, it was relatively wholesome in spirit.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah, I say we're all the same. All got in the division game. Self-destruction, fast and bending like a bullet. No one can stop it once it's fire, no one can.
So I'm hearing, I always get these bands mixed up.
Yeah.
Because I'm stupid. But I'm hearing like is it Everclear or Everlast or Sublime?
Sublime.
I'm hearing some Sublime in there.
Makes sense. So
of the guitar.
This band and Rancid after it were really responsible for bringing that ska vibe to punk.
Yes.
Whereas it had been popular in England already by the 80s, but this West Coast, they call the East Bay sound, or this West Coast sound, often incorporates ska into that punk and that little scratchy guitar vibe that you're hearing. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Stop that! Stop this!
This is a great part.
Final word, wait, it's not a call to action. We ain't no sex, no, this ain't no fucking faction. Unity, 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 you've heard it all before. Stop exotic, you just wanna stop the war. Stop this! Stop this!
That image is them in the whole day plan.
Oh,
That's really them. A lot of these images are fan-created video, but a lot that is an image of them playing on Gilman Street right there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
With another unity song, ain't nothing wrong. With another unity song, ain't nothing wrong. Ain't nothing wrong. Ain't nothing wrong. Ain't nothing wrong. With a unity song, stop this.
So it feels off tempo to me.
Yeah. Messy.
Yeah.
Intentionally messy.
So stop this. And then they skip a beat.
Whoa.
Yeah, and then they go into it. I wish Ricky was here. I don't know how many times I have to say that.
Right.
I wish we could summon him.
I just want to hug him, really.
Yeah, me too. See, I miss it every time because it's off tempo.
Right.
Unity, evolution gotta come right. Unity, as one stand together. Unity, evolution gotta come. Unity, as one stand together. Unity, evolution gotta come. Unity, as one stand together. Unity, evolution gotta come.
So this song has been used again and again by the left various times to discuss protest for war.
Yeah.
When I was in school, college that is, maybe even into grad school, George W. Bush was going to war, and this song was actually used in a Rock Against Bush Volume 2. So a lot of times, anytime there's a protest for war, this song is used. But what I think is interesting about this song is two things. One is that this song is not about actual warfare.
Oh.
It's about racial unity. So the lead singer said on stage on Gilman Street, and there is a recording of it, where he said the thing that bothered him so much is that his parents' generation had gone through the difficult war of bringing people together.
Right.
The cultural war they thought was over because of civil rights, and yet he was watching black folks and white folks still not getting along and wanting for unity. And I just love that spirit of it, because you think of punk rock as anarchy, as violence, as well. Here the shirt is a riot. There's nothing wrong with another unity song. I just love the spirit of that.
That's great.
And it's a youthful kind of hopeful vibe.
It is, before they get beaten down.
Yes.
And the world reveals
the Gen X part of you is like, wow, that's sweet and innocent and not true.
Yeah, turn off the lights, it's less dangerous.
So the next song here, the second song I want to play for you, is I think more in line with something you're going to really appreciate.
Okay.
That's all I'll say. This is Sound System. Let's check it out.
This one's more conducive to my headbanging.
Yeah.
The other one was not. I felt off tempo.
Right.
This one's more conducive.
Yes.
Sound system gonna bring me back up. Yeah, one thing that I can't depend on. Sound system gonna bring me back up. Right, one thing that I can't depend on. Try to describe it to the limit of my ability and therefore a second.
So I'm going to say I feel like he fucked that lyric up, but I'm glad they
take
kept...
one. There's only one take.
You're a one-take dude.
I'm a one-take guy.
Todd will send me stuff. No, this is good. Go with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Do you want to record
You
this?
said the wrong word.
Right. No, it's good.
We wrote a character's name. You've said it 3 different ways in the course of this recording.
That did happen.
It did happen.
No, it's good. Go with it.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yep.
I feel like he fucked it up.
More than just sound. Inspiration comes in twisting things around us. You always know that it's gonna have to go. You always know that she'll be back in the cold. One of the versions of a made it in a song, so it's coming to give it that hope, but just a second then it's gone. But sound system gonna bring me back up, right? One thing that I can't depend on. Sound system gonna bring me back up, yeah. One thing that I can't depend on. Static pulse inside of music bringing us escape. So temporary, changing nothing in its way. Just a second where we're leaving all this shit behind. Just a second, but it's leaving just as much as mine. To resist despair, that second makes you sing. To resist despair, cause you can't change everything. To resist despair, in this world is what it is, what it is, what it is. A big crazy sound system gonna bring me back up. One thing that I can't depend on. Sound system gonna bring me back up.
The thing I wasn't expecting was a sense of hopefulness.
Yes.
I'm not used to that.
I know. And see, isn't that funny? Because our rock and roll sensibility is like, let's show the thing that sucks.
Yeah.
And let's sit on it and then have a 7-minute solo.
Right.
You know what I mean? And this is like, I mean, the message of this song seems to me to be that life can be hard, that life can be difficult, and you can really sit on the sad stuff. But if you can find a song that makes you feel better for a minute,
Yep.
the freedom is not falling into despair.
There is a youthful hopefulness to it.
Yes.
Yeah, that
It's sweet.
I wasn't ready for.
Right.
Reminds me of you.
Well, I try.
Yeah, or at least the facade that you present to people.
Sounds fair.
Yeah.
Pick it up, 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 go! Sound system, sound system.
Wake up to my boss and what's the shade that's the sudden. Times are getting tougher while time start running. Funks my head, music by my side. Get into the rhythm, I'm moving by my side.
Sound system gonna bring me back up.
Yeah, one thing that I can't depend on.
Sound system gonna bring me back up.
Right, one thing that I can't depend on.
Kinda does.
Right, one thing that I can't depend on.
Sound system gonna bring me back up.
Yeah, one thing that I can't depend on.
Sound system, sound system.
That's it.
You know what? This reminds me of, hearing Kevin Smith talk about watching Slacker for the first time.
Yeah.
Kevin was like, well, I can do this.
Right.
That's not that it's bad.
No, but it's just
It's accessible.
yes.
Yeah.
You're not marveling at some wizardry.
It's not EVH
No.
using harmonics and tapping
No.
that I know I will never,
Right.
ever be able to do.
Right.
It's not watching Neil Peart
Right.
do something on this huge kit.
No.
I will never be able to do.
It's kids fucking around
It makes me feel like
and trying to find their voice.
I can be close to this.
Yeah.
If they can, I could be in a band. These folks can be in a band. I can be in a
Right.
band.
So this band was getting close to blowing up. They were getting a lot of attention, and they even had a little tour. But the lead singer decided to walk away. He wanted to walk away for other projects. And he was a part of a couple other creative projects over the years, but they never came to fruition. The other singer in there, sort of the backup singer guitarist there, he does that, right, one thing I can depend on. He is Tim Armstrong, a.k.a. Tim Time Bomb, a.k.a. Timmy, who would go on to be in Rancid.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to share Rancid with you. That's a whole other video.
Yep.
But the last thing I wanted to do here today is show you one more clip, and this is that these guys had not played together for like 30 years.
Oh, wow.
This is like one of those epic punk bands that everyone talks about. I was there when they played.
Right.
You know, I was there. Well, recently, in fact, about 2 months ago, they reunited on stage. So you can even see a couple of folks with COVID masks on in the background. And Jesse Michaels has not been on stage in a real long time, and you can tell that. He's a little nervous.
Yep.
But this is sort of like the bookend here for you today, is that it is kids' music, and it is hopeful music, but these old bastards are still doing it. So let's check out this video.
Okay, and this is the same song we just heard.
Same song, Sound System. You get to see them this time.
How's everybody doing? We're gonna bring an old friend of mine up here, Jesse Michaels. We met in 1982 at a house where we were both in different bands at the time. He was in SAG and I was in Contemplations of Death. And we became friends. He went away to Pittsburgh for a few years. He came back. and we formed a band called Operation Ivy. And we wrote this song 34 years ago. It's called Sound System.
He's a lefty.
The big old guitar.
This man looks like he should be selling you insurance.
Yes. So Tim Armstrong has got like the tattoos on his bald head. He has been living the punk life since '82.
Yes.
This guy, you can tell, yes, went away.
He got a real job.
Yes.
He's working the phones at Verizon.
That's right.
Yeah.
He has a parka.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. He's organizing like after school gym things.
He's a CPA, although he doesn't practice.
That's right. I have my license.
That's right.
Sound system gonna bring me back alright. One thing that I can't depend on. Sound system gonna bring me back up. Yeah. One thing that I can't depend on. You always know that it's gonna have to go. You always know that you'll be back in the cold. Going out the bar, just up, I made it in a song. It's always coming together. I hope I just want that thing.
He found it right there.
He did.
You can see it in his face.
He did.
The beginning of it, he felt nervous and he was like, I should have practiced more. And then that part,
Yep.
he found it.
Fell into it. You feel him speed up.
Yep,
It's
you
a
can
great moment.
see it in his face. He's on autopilot.
Yep.
You and I have both dealt with folks on stage.
Yes.
There's a moment, there's a magic moment.
Yep.
When someone who's holding a mic goes on autopilot.
Yes. And you're going to see, if you back it up like a second or two, after he's done with his verse there, he is able to look at Tim. And I think that was the first moment he realized he was there. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Watch him look over at Tim in his head.
Yep. He's there.
Yep.
One thing that I can't depend on. What it is to be free. Sound system gonna bring me back alright. One thing that I can't depend on. Sound system gonna bring me back up. Yeah, one thing that I can't depend on. Sound system, sound system. Wake up to a boxer, but your shade let the sun in. Time to get out, the right time to start running. Box in my hand. Music by my side, skating to the rhythm by the music by my side. Sound system gonna bring me back up. One thing that I can't depend on. Sound system gonna bring me back up. Yeah, one thing that I can't depend on. Sound system gonna bring me back up. Right, one thing that I can't depend on. Sound system gonna bring me back up. Yeah, one thing that I can't depend on. Sound system.
That's it, man.
That was great.
So again, I think one thing that might be unexpected here is sort of like a joyful, innocent feeling, some exuberance.
Yeah.
That maybe we don't always get from the rock and roll that you and I listen to more often.
Yeah.
And I showed this video to my wife the other day, and she said, like punk rock really is like a young person thing.
It is.
But I contend that seeing them up there as old men, they somehow have maybe held on to some hopefulness
Yes.
in their lives that maybe we could learn from.
I think that's true.
A little bit.
And what strikes me is that, like, we talk about this a lot, being our ages, like 5 years is nothing.
Sure.
But when you're in your teens, 5 years is everything.
Oh, man.
And so it always strikes me when we talk about like the music from our youth.
Yeah.
There's like 4 years between us, I think.
Yeah, I'm 41.
45.
Okay.
Yeah. So I feel like my music was so existential.
Yeah.
So hopeless.
Sure.
So ennui, like all that.
Yep.
Whereas this is not.
Right.
This has got youthful hopefulness to it.
Yep.
Whereas everything I was listening to was like everything is fucked.
Right.
Completely.
And these kids on Gilman Street who, didn't have much money coming from Oakland or Berkeley or San Francisco, they were just trying to get together and live something that wasn't their bleak parents' lives.
Right.
To be a part of a scene and part of a sound that would become that East Bay thing. So thanks for joining me, dude, on this journey. I hope to do more.
Yes.
Different decades, different regions, little pockets. Because like I said, I'm not going to be able to define punk rock.
Sure.
And it's such an enormous thing. Even punk rock experts will sit around and argue about when punk died or didn't die, and if punk is a sound or an aesthetic or what.
Or just a mentality.
But I hope doing this and just marching band by band, we can together kind of learn something.
I loved it. Well, thanks, man.
Absolutely. And thank you guys. Thanks for joining us. So in between now and next time we talk to you, we're Mark and Todd. See ya.